What is happening, sports fans? It's your main man, Matt, from the DFS 5 Pack. I am rocking it solo today. It is Saturday, February 12th. We got some NBA to talk over, 10 games tonight. I got a jam-packed day, a bunch of stuff to take care of with my wife, for my wife. You guys know how that goes. So I'm going to just make one video, members only for the public here. We're way past halfway in the season as far as games go. So, I appreciate you guys watching the videos. We'll get back to the normal next week of making the members only videos and the public videos, especially with DFS Patriot back on, hopefully the whole week with me. But until then, again, full slate for Saturday night. Wanted to get on here and break it down for you guys. I know some of you guys like the shorter videos. Don't worry, this is not going to be too long. I'm going to go through this as quick as I can for 10 games. Sometimes when you get these big slates, it's easier and quicker to break down just because you don't have to go through every single player. You really gotta like who you're going to roster tonight. So excited to break that down for you guys. Before I hop into the hoops, let me shout out our promoters real quick. So first off, Jazz Sports. When you sign up and join Jazz Sports, you get a no-risk wager up to $1,000 in your first bet. That's $1K back if your first wager is graded a loss. Just really an unbeatable deal. I encourage everyone to check that out. Promo code is 5PACK. And then Loose Lines. Loose Lines is an affiliate of Jazz Sports. They offer really good lines and odds over there, reduced juice and other really cool perks. When you sign up over at Loose Lines, you get 50% off your first deposit. So again, a couple of really good deals. I recommend, I encourage, I suggest everyone to check those out. The links will be in the description section. And the promo code for both is 5PACK. Alrighty, that being said, let's talk some NBA. We got quite a slate tonight with players changing teams, guys out. Some guys are in, obviously. So, just excited to talk this out with you guys. As always with NBA, things will change because that's the nature of the beast. So, just know that going in. We got a full slate. A lot of early games, which is nice, but, also some 8 p.m. and later games. So, just beware of that. Latest game starts at 9, which is nice. On the eve of the Super Bowl, so everyone can get a good night's sleep. Alrighty, starting with the first game, Memphis and Charlotte. This should be a pretty good game from a real-life perspective, I would imagine. Memphis is favored by 7 here. That's interesting. Charlotte coming off a nice win last night. From the Memphis side, they're in a good spot against Charlotte. Charlotte plays no D. I like Ja a lot. They've been involved in a bunch of blowouts recently, so I would just, take his game log with a grain of salt. We know how productive he is, and I think he looks more than fine here. Memphis just overall is in a really good spot because Charlotte sucks his D. Normally, we want to pick on the Hornets with big men, and I don't hate the idea of Steven Adams. I mean, he's had upside at this price in 2 out of his past 3. He doesn't play big minutes, and I really don't want to use a center spot on him, but not the worst play in the world by any means. Charlotte just gets destroyed by opposing bigs. Jaren Jackson Jr. has GPP upside. I probably won't spend $7,200 on him on this slate, but I don't mind anyone on Memphis here is the point. And then as far as Charlotte goes, not as good of a spot for them. LaMelo balling right now, no pun intended, coming off a monster 67 DK point last night. Didn't even play at the end of the game because they just rolled Detroit. I think he's wildly in play again. Rozier looked awesome. Trip dub for Rozier. Again, they played Detroit, so you don't want to just go chase here. Oubre was not good. His price is up. All these guys are still in play for me. They're playing big minutes. They're shorthanded with Hayward out. They did add Montrezl Harrell to the mix, so all 3 of these guys, Plumlee, Washington, and Harrell, not really in play for me. Harrell played 22 minutes, and I'm sure that's around what he's going to play. Not overly interested in the Charlotte bigs. Not interested at all in the Charlotte bigs. So all in all, it's the 2 point guards for me, LaMelo and Ja. And with how many good plays are on the slate tonight, I can't say that either of them are a priority piece. All right, Sacktown and Washington. So the Kings playing their second game with Sabonis. Dropped 48 in his Kings debut in a win against Minnesota. Fox had 46. I mean, I think Fox and Sabonis, these are the guys. Harrison Barnes also had a good game. I don't think you're going to see all these guys with 40-plus on a consistent basis, but Their rotation is solidified now. Jeremy Lamb played 31 minutes. Holmes was just a backup center, only played 12 minutes. I think the Kings are in play. Fox and Sabonis, obviously the top two pieces. I think Jeremy Lamb is sneaky because if he's going to play 30-plus minutes, he's productive. So 4K, I don't mind taking a look there. This game should be competitive. I actually think Sacramento should win this game, which is pretty sad from a Washington standpoint. But the Kings are 3-point favorites. From the Wizards side, Porzingis is still out. Beal is out for the year. They did add Ish Smith and Vernon Carey, but don't really care about him. Ish Smith getting added to the rotation does change some things, though, because Neto's price is up. Much bigger slate. Kuzma's still wildly in play for me. I mean, this game should be competitive. It's not like Sacramento's good. Kuzma triple-doubled last time out. He's under 8K. Don't mind that at all. Abdio was productive. Rui was productive. Yeah, Rui played 22 minutes. He was very productive in those minutes. Thomas Bryant played 20. I think those guys are fine filler pieces. Sacramento stinks, but it's a different Sacramento team now that they added Sabonis inside, and he's going to eat up like basically every rebound. So I don't know. Kuzma's my favorite piece of the Wizards, but he's also the most expensive, so that is what it is. All righty. Spurs and Pels. The Spurs played last night. They were awesome. Dejounte Murray was amazing. 32 minutes, dropped 80 DK points. He was insane. Needed him to really do any damage in tournaments for sure. Good matchup. I expect this to be a game. The spread on this game is 6. The Spurs are 6-point dogs. Don't love them coming off a back-to-back, but Murray and Vassell are two guys that I think are still wildly in play. Murray's in play every slate he's on. Vassell started, played 28 minutes, dropped 33 DK points. He's in a nice groove right now. I like Vassell. I like Murray a lot. Murray's right there with LaMelo and Ja. I actually probably prefer Murray just because he's more needed for his team. So my favorite stud on the slate so far. And then the New Orleans side, they're not really in play for me. J-Val's price is down to 7,500, but his minutes are also kind of down, so not excited about that. They added C.J. McCollum. Ingram's price is still up. No thanks on New Orleans. It's really Murray, Vassell, bust for me for this one. All right, my Cavs at the Sixers, the new-look Sixers. Harden's out. Still waiting to hear about Garland. Cavs, nice win last night for them coming back down big at Indiana. Nice win for LeVert in a revenge spot. If Garland's out, I think LeVert's right back in play. Played 36 minutes last night. We saw Rondo have a monster game. Rondo played 33. Interesting that. So Goodwin didn't play, and Rondo played all the backup minutes. If Garland's out, Rondo's really interesting to me, knowing that, potentially Goodwin could come back in. I'm not exactly sure why. I'll have to check in on that. I know he was. Yeah, I mean, I know that. I'm not sure what the deal is with him, but I do know that with Rondo getting all those minutes, if Garland's out again, I'm intrigued, if nothing else. As far as the rest of the Cavs go, it's not a great spot against Philly. It is a get-up spot. I mean, Jared Allen's a monster inside. Obviously, tough spot for him against Embiid, but he's going to get his. The Cavs are good. It's a spread on this game. Cavs are 3.5-point dogs, coming off a nice win last night. Mobley was not good. Cavs are basically what they always are for me. They're all in play because they're a good team. Not a great spot, so they don't stand out. If Garland's out, it makes Allen and LeVert look even better in my eyes. From the Philly side, they played last night. Embiid was monster like I thought he would be against OKC. They didn't even blow out. He shot less than 33% from the floor. 1 of 7 from 3, still put up 66 plus DK points. Not a good spot for Embiid. I mean, Cleveland's really good inside. You don't really want to pick on the Cavs with big men. But Embiid's Embiid. He's going to get his. Harden's out. Embiid's obviously just going to be in play until he's going to be in play even when Harden comes back. But until Harden plays, Embiid is just surely going to be a good look because there's no Andre Drummond backing him up. They don't have Harden taking away the usage. In a competitive game, he should get his. Tobias Harris, price is down. Don't hate him either. Don't like that these guys played last night, but I mean, he's the number 2 tonight, like for sure. They're shorthanded. Again, no Seth Curry opens up looks for him. I don't mind Harris at all here. Give me 1 second, guys. All right, sorry about that. I am back with you. So this game I think is going to be a good real life game. Not sure how much DFS exposure I want. Embiid obviously in play, and we'll have to wait and see on Garland. All right, next up, Denver. They also played last night at Toronto. Bad loss for Denver last night after they were winning a lot of that game. I mean, it's Jokic. He's obviously in play because he's one of the best players in the league. He's always in play. Nothing is different tonight. Like him a lot. If you can get there, do your thing. He's right there with Embiid. I don't really have a strong preference. It's a better matchup for Jokic. Probably Jokic is the preferred option, but I'm not like set in stone on that. Monte Morris was out yesterday, so we saw Bones Highland start. He played 18 minutes, was not very productive. I have no issue going right back there. Campazzo was very productive off the bench. I like the starter more, but it is worth noting whoever is coming off the bench is just going to have higher usage because they're going to get their minutes without Will Barton, et cetera, et cetera. So I don't know. It's Jokic and maybe the guards if Morris is out, and no one else from Denver really tickles my fancy. As far as give me 1 second. All right, sorry about that, guys. I am back with you again. All right, so from the Toronto side, they're playing good ball right now. We know their starters play big minutes. We know their starters play big minutes, on a nightly basis. So we're not really looking at anyone on their bench. They did add Thad Young to the mix, so interesting to see like what happens with him. I'm not looking to play him, but does he eat into their minutes at all? I'm not sure. Siakam, 10K, deservedly so, though. He's just balling right now. Coming off a lackluster game in Houston, but he fouled out. So really not going to hold him really too hard to that one. Just playing great ball right now. Like him a lot here. It's hard to get to him at 10K, though, given the other options that are around him. Van Vliet is questionable. If he's out again, we saw Gary Trent Jr. handle the ball a lot, had one of the best games of his career. I like him a lot more if Van Vliet's out because he's going to have the ball in his hands more. And if Van Vliet's out, he becomes a really good play in my eyes, close to a priority. All right. Next up, we got OKC and Chicago. From the Thunder side, this is another team that played last night. Shai's still out. Akpala's not playing for them yet. I don't really want anyone from OKC except for Poku. Played 30 minutes the past 2 games, 25 plus DK points. Didn't do anything last night you can replicate here. Blowout proof, so he's going to play no matter what. Yeah, give me Poku at 38. He's one of the better value pieces on the slate, and that's really all I want from OKC. From the Chicago side of things, I mean, I don't know. All these guys are, Caruso and Lonzo are out, so Ayo's playing a lot of minutes. Kobe White played 29. It was actually really good last night. DeRozan, Vooch, and Levine are all in. I mean, DeRozan's having a hell of a year. He's the type of guy that's in play every slate he's on, but with so many good spots, I cannot see myself prioritizing any of these Chicago guys. Even though I like them, I mean, I definitely like them, but not as much as I like Jokic, Embiid, et cetera, et cetera. So gonna have to really pick and choose, where you go tonight. Like, I like Fox and Sabonis. How much is Sabonis? 96. So Sabonis is like their same price as Fox is way cheaper. So like, give me Fox over all those guys. I know, it's a completely different game, but that's what you have to do across the slate. There's so many games. You really got to pick and choose. All right, next up, Brooklyn and Miami. So we know KD is out. Ben Simmons is not playing yet. Drummond and Curry are both out tonight. So it's not a good spot for Brooklyn. Might see them get up a little bit after this trade, no Harden. Kyrie, I think, is a good play. I don't love him because of the matchup, but I still think he's a good play without those other guys on the floor. He's just amazing at, on the offensive side. Going to have a ton of usage. Cam Thomas is really starting to come into his own, so he's another guy I don't mind here. Their prices are up. He's more expensive than Patty Mills now. The only guy that really gets you excited on Brooklyn is Kyrie, and even him, like, against Miami, nah. I mean, there's other guys I like more. Speaking of Miami, I mean, they're in a great spot against this undermanned Brooklyn team. They're all healthy, but Lowry coming off a monster game, played 36 minutes, 6,800, definitely in play. 85 for Bam. He's going to eat up the Brooklyn big men tonight. He's wildly in play. Butler, primetime game against Kyrie and the Nets. Sure. I don't love anyone on Miami, but they should basically do whatever they want to Brooklyn tonight. They're one of the better teams in the league. So I think they're firmly in play, kind of like Memphis. They're just in a good spot. They have better players than Memphis, but they're also more expensive. Clippers and Dallas. Seems like these teams play all the freaking time. There's nothing I want from the Clippers side. Even after dealing Surge, like, the big men just aren't really doing it for me. This team stinks. I'm not a Clippers fan with Paul George out and Kawhi out. I guess if Norman Powell is out, if Norman Powell's up, you give a bump to all the other guys, but that's the best I can say. It's not like I'm excited about using any of them. Dallas, Luka's on another level right now. 12-5. Dropped 50 real-life points last time out, 59-6. Yeah, of course he's in play. I mean, why wouldn't he be in play? It's just a matter of, do you like him more than Jokic, Embiid, et cetera, et cetera. Easier to fit him. You've also got Dejounte Murray, who's cheaper. So basically the same all over the slate. Very, very good play, but not stone cold lock for me because there's other guys that I like a lot. All right, Lakers and Warriors. From the LA side, I expect Bron to play because he's always basically plays when he's questionable. AD is probable, and Westbrook is questionable. He didn't play last game. I like LeBron in a bounce back here. It's LeBron James. I mean, he's expensive. The trend continues. I don't think you have to lock him in, but he looks great here at 10-9. And if I can get there, I have no problem with it. I like it a lot. Davis, no thanks. It's Bron for me there. From the Warriors side, they're in a great spot. So another team where, like, no individual, they're pretty healthy aside of Draymond. Like, no individual stands out to me, but they're all in play. And, like, if I have money to get to Steph, sure, I love Steph. Klay Thompson at 66. He's got upside. The Lakers give up a ton of DFS points. Wiggins, all these guys work at their respective price points. All right, last but not least, late night hammer, Orlando. And again, last night they played in Utah. Tonight they're in Phoenix. Tough stretch for them. They kept it competitive for a while last night. This is, I guess, a better spot for them, but I'm not interested in Orlando on a back-to-back in Phoenix. Phoenix coming off a big win for them against Milwaukee. Really good spot for them. Ayton not playing big minutes, but he should crush Orlando inside. They get destroyed inside. So 6,700, I think he looks good here. And the same can be said about JaVale McGee at 4K. With Ayton not playing massive minutes, McGee's still playing 15 to 20, a little bit more sometimes. We know he has big upside even in those lack of minutes. So I like the big men for Phoenix. All the other guys are in play for me, but like not musts because I like a lot of guys on the slate. So I'm going to hold off on building just because it feels like a fool's errand right now with so much probably going to change. But yeah, I wanted to get on here and break the slate down for you guys. Short but sweet today. I got a bunch of stuff going on, like I said. Hope you enjoyed it. The Super Bowl's tomorrow. I'm around this afternoon if you have questions. If you want more info, more content, more any of that stuff, go check out the DFS 5-pack. We'd love to have you. Yeah, and until Monday, guys, the write-up will be out at basically normal time for customers. Thanks as always.